So we are going to do some live readings today, but first I'm going to start with the reading for the collective. So this video is also your weekly tarot forecast. So as we wait for people to come in and start asking questions, I will be doing the reading for the group collective that is going to be what I would normally post on Mondays on my Instagram TV and Instagram Live. And if you're watching this on Instagram TV, I probably had to edit it down to just the first 15 minutes. So I will be posting the full video with all the readings on my YouTube page, youtube.com/Michelle Shea Walker. And if you want to see the whole thing, you can totally do that. So let's get started with a little Reiki recap. So we just did the Reiki for the week. So my Sunday distance Reiki crew received their good vibes. And if you're not familiar with that, on Sundays on Instagram, I send out a distance Reiki to a collective list that I've collected over the past several months. And through that, everyone receives a little bit of energy balancing, and I also get a little insight as to what's happening in the energy at large this week, because it's not just one person, it's multiple people, and we tend to have themes whenever that happens. So a lot of people are dealing with the same things. So the Reiki recap for the week is all very much in alignment with Venus retrograde. So currently the planet Venus is in retrograde, and what that means is the things that Venus is in charge of, which are beauty, money, and luxury, are all being sort of reevaluated at this time period. So in order for that to happen, it's important to kind of not try and push any movement forward. So they say that during Venus retrograde, you shouldn't do any major image overhauls, you shouldn't get any irreversible things like plastic surgery or a really extreme haircut or a tattoo, anything that you can't reverse at the end of it, because you are really supposed to be looking back at how you deal with these areas of your life and sort of noticing if you need to tweak anything to make things a little more efficient. And for the energy this week, the main thing that was coming through is our re-evaluating and tweaking of our experience of luxury. So luxury is, again, one of the things that Venus rules over. And I think that we all really think of luxury as being something that we have maybe had a lot of right now. If we haven't been if we haven't been working our normal jobs during quarantine, or if we've had a little more downtime on our hands because of a lack of social life, you might feel like you've had enough of the slowing down and the self-care. But the thing that this week is coming in with in the energy is that the way that we view this downtime is really important. So if you are doing your slowing down and your self-care in the form of anything that feels like you're zoning out or disassociating with your feelings, your emotions, your body, that might not be the best thing to be indulging in this week. Or maybe you can do that a little bit, but also make sure you balance it out with conscious and intentional luxury and self-care. So I highly recommend that means no media at your disposal. So no binge watching television, no scrolling through social media. If you want to play some music, that's fine, but play it and put your device far away so that it's no longer distracting you. And then I want you to do something that feels like it's really caring for your body. So maybe that's a nice hot bath. Maybe that is some gentle yin yoga. Maybe it's taking a long nap or reading a book, but something that doesn't take you out of your own energy. So a book kind of takes you out of your own energy, but you're at least still grounded, especially if you're reading from a physical book rather than an e-reader. You're still grounded in that energy. You're still present in your body. And that is really important this week so that we can realize where we need to shift our energy and really enjoy the luxury and the downtime that we have. So once you have sort of tapped into that, then you can start to feel out what it is that you're shifting in your normal routine. Like when things aren't as slow, what parts of these practices do you want to draw into your life once again and be able to experience whenever you absolutely need to decompress and unplug because more stuff is going on. So in addition to that, we'll do a little card reading for the week. So I'm pulling these live, which I normally don't do. We have the Six of Pentacles coming in for our energy. So the Six of Pentacles is a card that is all about recognizing, first of all, recognizing your blessings, recognizing that your home and your abundance is really more fruitful than you might think it is. And through that, you are then going to learn where to place your focus or where to harvest the fruits of your labor. Because just like we may not have all of the forms of zoning out available to us when we're trying to really tap into our bodies and luxuriate, the Six of Pentacles is telling us that there are certain things that need our attention more than others, and you'll be able to tell by what feels the most juicy, what feels the most ripe. So if there is a self-care practice that you're participating in that doesn't make you feel restored and ripe and juicy and ready to be picked, it's time to kind of shift the focus to something else for a while. And that doesn't mean that you can't eventually go back to that self-care practice that wasn't filling you up. It'll still be there. It'll be on the vine, still ripening for you. And there will be a time and a place for that. So as you move from that energy, the advice card is the Father of Wands. So again, this kind of echoes that idea of wanting to be a little more tapped into your body, into your spirit. The Father of Wands has really owned his spiritual creative practice. So it's not about, again, it's not about really letting yourself disassociate from your life by indulging in outward media. It's about turning inward and finding the deep reserves of creativity and spirituality that you have within you and let that rest and restore you. And sometimes these get a little uncomfortable. Some things might be coming up because sometimes whenever we are doing a little bit of spiritual work or slowing down, we have thoughts that we haven't let ourselves think come up into our existence. And through that, we then are able to face them. And if you're practicing that indulgent self-care, if you're in a hot bath and your mind is quiet and you've been nice and relaxed and something comes up that's not the most comfortable, you're better suited to deal with that because you're already taking care of your body in that moment. And that's a really beautiful time to deal with these things as opposed to waiting until we're in chaos of the outside world and something triggers us and we don't have the mental and emotional bandwidth to deal with it. So really give yourself that self-care space this week so that you are indulging in the things that you need in order to feel balanced and restored. And when those triggers or those emotions come up, because we are evaluating our emotions and our relationships right now, you then can calmly cope with what's happening. So that is our reading for the week. That is the energy from the Reiki that I sent out to everyone. If you are interested in the Reiki that I do send out on Sundays, you can send me a unicorn emoji if you haven't already, and I will add you to the list. And through that, you'll get the Reiki recap that I do every week with my weekly tarot forecast will be really, really key to you. So it's already kind of key to you even if you're not on the list because it's definitely going to be something that is, again, like it's a larger group of people, so it kind of is more of a representation of what we're all dealing with right now. But if you are on the Reiki list, it's literally cued directly to your needs because it was your energy that informed me of these things. So we are going to move into some individual readings, but because I don't think we have any yet, how you're going to do your reading questions is rather than doing a comment, because there's going to be plenty of stuff scrolling up in the comments and it'll be hard to find, you're going to go to the question button next to the comment box and you're going to submit it that way. And then that way I can keep track of the order that they came in and I can just check there to be able to go ahead and do the readings. And yes, hi Rachel. Welcome. We're doing tarot readings. If you want to participate, right now it's just you and my mom. So feel free to ask a question by clicking the question button. So if you are interested in doing a reading, asking a question, I'll be doing the readings from the Holly Simple Tarot, which is a nice little cheeky, fun, but no nonsense interpretation of cards. And then I'll also be occasionally adding in my Total Betty Goddess deck for a little extra information, some goddesses, some energy to assist. So, yeah, Mom, we lost the other person that you're seeing because I can only see 2 people on the participation screen. Well, let me talk a little bit about the Total Betty Goddess deck while we wait for questions, because this is a little bit of a smaller group than I was expecting. And I'm going to be using this video later for posting on my feeds, so I want to keep the movement going. So the Total Betty Goddess deck is a deck that I've created, and I did all of the artwork, all of the research, all of the sort of channeling of what goddesses want to be represented in what way myself, and it's been my favorite project ever to work on. So I've taken goddesses of antiquity all throughout the years, all throughout the cultures. There's some African goddesses, there's some Greek goddesses, there's some Roman goddesses, there's some Scandinavian goddesses, and I have selected 90s icons, feminine icons, to represent each of these goddesses. So basically we're taking something that feels a little out of touch, a little out of reach, something that we're not as connected to, and we are then bringing it into a character that we relate to. And I think that's going to be a really easy way to connect to these goddesses and to that energy. And so that's why I've done things like a little Courtney Love, a little Christina Applegate. So these cards will also be showing up in those readings as well. So again, in order to ask a question, you click the question box next to your comment section, and that is how things will go. So, I mean, I'm gonna stay on here for another 3 or 4 minutes, and you guys have the what I want to say. You have the table. So if you have any questions for the cards, feel free to ask them. And then after that, I might just close this out because I got the weekly forecast in there, and the point of this was to give individual readings. What kind of questions? Anything. You can even say that you just want a general reading of what's going on in your life. You want a general reading, Mom? We'll give you a general reading. It's basically anything you want to know more about. You can want to know, how your relationship is going. You can want to know how your career is going. You can want to know how health is. But yeah, we'll do a general reading. So for KMW to go, we are going to do a general reading. Anything that you need to know. We'll do a 3-card reading, which means that we'll deal with the past, the present, and the future. So as we shuffle in the cards, okay, so the past card that's coming up is called the Father of Pentacles. So the Father of Pentacles represents that the past was about accomplishing things in work and being able to have that active energy in work and career. And that's now moving into a different area. So as you're coming out of, I think this is both coming out of actual work and retiring, and also coming out of being so productive as we come out of the normal world and go into our quarantine. It's about being less active, and that's really hard for you because you're active all the time. So it's just closing out that chapter and learning how to move into another area, which is the Son of Wands, or the Son of Swords. So the Son of Swords still indicates that you are diving right in, but you're diving right into new endeavors, new journeys. If you are watching and you need a mask to wear around, my mother is actively making those. And so it's just about using that energy to a different advantage. And it also indicates that you could dive in fuller to that. So if you wanted to reach out to medical communities and ask them if they need more masks, if you wanted to reach out to organizations that are still at work right now and say that you have these available, it says that you could go even deeper into this. So you're utilizing the energy that used to be put to a traditional work job, and you're now moving into this energy of using it in your free time, but being just as productive and moving just as fast paced. And it's saying, like, rather than let all of that energy spin in this one endeavor, see how you can spread it out. And maybe it's that you can spread it out by, again, offering it to specific organizations, or maybe it's that you're taking the creative energy that you're channeling into making masks and letting that spin off into making clothing and dresses and other things that are valuable to people. So it doesn't have to be all in one category, but it's basically saying there's a lot of energy to use here and it's going to be used quickly. So you might as well go ahead and use it wherever it feels best. And then the future card that's coming in is the Mother of Wands. So this is indicating that you are going to need to slow down and be less physically active. So be mindful of burnout and don't dive so fully into these projects that you're doing that you don't let yourself rest and relax and restore, because the Mother of Wands is all about taking care of your creative and spiritual self. So it could even indicate learning something new and letting that slow you down because you're not as proficient at what it is you're doing. So if you wanted to look into online classes or just YouTube tutorials to learn to do something else different and crafty, those would be really beautiful things to look into at this time. And the goddess that we have for your reading, KMW to go, is Lara, who is played by the character whose name escapes me, but Isabel Rossellini from Death Becomes Her. And the quote underneath it says, "Silence the haters." So this is saying that if there's any negative energy coming in from the outside world, maybe it's political, it might be time to just ignore that, take a break from that, and recognize that what you believe is what you believe, and that's the most important thing, to stay tapped in and tuned into that, and you don't have to worry about what everyone else thinks about those beliefs. So I think that's a very important goddess energy to help you at this time. So we have another question popping up. If you're wanting to ask a question, again, you will click the question box to the side. So Rachie Scott says, "Tell me about my career." So let's do some cards for that. So as I'm shuffling, I'm also tapping into energies of the situations with the Reiki, kind of sending some vibes that way. It feels like there's a lot of both opportunities and a need for direction there. So let's see what the cards have to say. So the past card is the Five of Swords. So it doesn't look like a very happy card, but thankfully it is in the past. And it also is an indicator that in the past, the biggest hurdle in your career, Rachel, was being able to conquer your own anxiety and your own anxious thoughts. So the internal struggle is much more difficult than the external struggle. These cards are saying that the outside world is more than happy to provide for you, but your job, your intention, and this is the past, so you've already been working on this, is really being able to conquer your own anxiety and your own reactions to stress in the workplace that's mostly just trying to head things off at the path. There's a feeling of, it's basically, it comes back to that quote that is, worry is just a meditation on things that you don't want to happen. And it's essentially that feeling of, there's a lot of worry, but it's almost like your mind is so actively trying to head everything off at the past that you're creating situations that are never going to happen. And so it's kind of a waste of the energy. But again, I think this is a lesson that you're already learning. It should feel pretty resonant for you because that is your past. So you've conquered that a little bit, and you're moving into the Mother of Pentacles. So in a reading about career, Pentacles cards are really good signs because they are the card of abundance, money, work, career, and also a little bit home. So the Mother of Pentacles is indicating that your happiness in your career is going to be very much connected to your happiness and your rootedness in your home. So Mother of Pentacles is really about, you know how to make money, you know how to do your job well, but if you don't feel stable and rooted and balanced in your home life when you're away from work, that's really going to affect that ability to do that. So know that those two things play with each other, and you want to make both of them a priority. So don't get so into your work environment that you let your home slip, because it's almost like they're both ingredients in a magic potion that creates the abundance that you need. And so through doing that dance of balancing both, you will then be able to naturally find money in your life. So as long as you're not being too much at home or too much at work, both of those things are really going to balance themselves out. So that's your current mission right now, which feels pretty good timing since most of us are spending so much time at home and either looking for jobs or working from home. So this is about, like, don't let one or the other become the biggest thing in your life. Both of them work together, and they're vital for your energy to be able to create abundance. So the future card is coming in with the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands indicates a couple different things. It indicates that you're moving into an area that's going to be less money focused and more spirit and soul and creative energy focused. And not necessarily an artistic field, but it could be. It's more about creating opportunities and wellness and good things in the world. So I would say that moving into the future, there's a lot of ability to tap into what you have learned for yourself and what you have established with your own life, and share that with the world as much as you can. And don't worry quite so much about how that's going to pay you back, because it will. So this is basically telling me that the Two of Wands is about sharing the soul lessons that you've learned. So whatever it is that you've done to find wellness within yourself, take a little piece of that and be like, how can I expand on this and share it with the world? So if it's that you've learned certain practices that have helped you deal with those stress in the past, maybe that's something that you start to share with the world. And it may not exactly make sense as to how it's going to monetize at this time, but it's going to be something that eventually will lead to opportunities. Yeah, I feel a very strong connection between that, like how you've dealt with anxiety and sharing that with others, and then somehow that's gonna lead into a career. So again, that's the future card. You don't necessarily have to worry about that right now, because right now you're worrying about home and work balance and making sure that that's all aligned. And I think that that's really going to help, because as you balance your home, you're going to find more of those coping strategies on how to lessen the stress in your lives. And that's going to inform even more how you share with the world, because the Two of Wands is indicating that you don't have to do this alone. It's kind of a practice of sharing your information with someone and having them give you something back, but you may not know what that's going to be just yet. So it may be that you share the wisdom that you have with someone, or maybe in an online forum, and all of a sudden people trickle in and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to like hire you for this project that's related to this. There's some magic at work whenever the wands are in play. So those are your tarot cards. The Goddess card that's helping you with all this energy is, and by the way, if you're just joining, if you want to ask a question, you are going to click the question button next to the comments down below, and I will answer them in the order that they're received. So feel free to type those in. So Rachel, your goddess is Sashat, who is the goddess and the keeper of the books and the library. So this indicates to me that there's some additional learning in your future, and maybe even currently that might be part of your rooting in your home. Is also like Karen's reading, it's also telling them to be able to do the, sorry, I'm getting distracted by comments, so that's why I'm asking that everyone do the question button rather than comment in the feed. You will then be able to, learning is going to be a key in this process. So don't be afraid to dive into some things that you may have to educate yourself on how to do. And it might be that you're educating yourself on like diving deeper into these techniques that you've used for yourself, or it might be that you're educating yourself on how to get information out to other people, or there might even be some volunteering happening. So there's a feeling that there's something to be learned here, and don't be afraid to crack open a book or do some research, because that's part of this process. So I hope that helped, Rachel. If you want to ask a question, again, if you're just joining, we're doing readings, tarot readings and goddess card pulls, and you will click the question button next to the comment section. Thank you, Rachel. I'm glad for the feedback. Good. I'm glad all that made sense. So click the question button next to the comment, and that's where you're going to submit your question. I currently don't have any in line, so whoever clicks that question button and asks a question gets the reading right now. So if you're interested in a tarot card reading, you can, and you don't even have to ask a question. If you want to just a general reading, just click the button and say, hey, me, or whatever, and I'll do a general reading for you. So if you don't have a topic in mind that you want to look into, the cards can totally just give you like general advice. Like, what do you need to know right now? And what information will help serve your past, present, your future? What goddess energy will help you? And if you want just a really short reading, you can just say goddess card, and I'll pull you a goddess card and tell you what ethereal energy is going to assist you in your current endeavors. And if nobody asks a question, we'll go ahead and end this. Oh, someone had a question. My mom is playing monitor. Oh, Mom, you're trying to comment to people. They can see me. You got it. You don't have to keep talking to everyone, and you would have to at them in order for them to be able to. Yeah. Oh, I got a question. Awesome. Ooh, we got 2 questions. Oh no, we got one that I got to dismiss. So we got Rachel's questions out of the way. So Amanda, I almost wanted to call you Allison because of your your name on your screen. We're gonna do a goddess card for you. Ooh, I didn't know that I could pull it up on the screen like that. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm answering right now, but that's kind of cool. So apparently when I click it, it says at the bottom what it is I'm doing. So we're pulling a goddess card, just general information for what might be supporting Amanda and her endeavors. Amanda, your energy feels very balanced right now. Ooh, so your goddess card is the Fates, as played by the witches from the craft. So the Fates are telling you that there are things to your past that you're currently cutting ties for. So again, coming back to what we started at the beginning of the video, Venus retrograde is a very big part of this. So this is about looking at, I'm gonna take a leap and say past relationships and knowing what you can disconnect from. So you weren't here, I think, for the beginning of the video, but I did talk about in the Reiki energy this week, the calling is to do more luxurious self-care and making sure that your self-care isn't just zoning out in front of some sort of media. So like, this is a really good week to settle into like a hot bath or a meditation or a really juicy yoga practice, and to give yourself the stillness to let uncomfortable things come up. So I think that if you can cultivate more stillness in your life, especially this week, and it could, like I said, stillness could just be like in a hot bath, like listening to good music. It doesn't necessarily have to be a meditation and like a structured stillness practice. You're gonna naturally have things start to come up. You're gonna like be sitting in a bathtub, like just like feeling real relaxed, and you're gonna start thinking about a relationship that you haven't thought of in years, or you're gonna think of a thing that happened in your childhood that just kind of like pops into your memory. So that's why the luxuriating this week is super important, is that that's gonna be what gives us the triggers and the memories. So it's weird because normally we would think that we'd have to be consuming media or reading something or doing something to have something come up. And this week it's like, you gotta be still, and you're gonna have the most random memories pop into your head. And that's when you know what it is that you're cutting ties to. And the benefit of doing it while you're participating in self-care is that you're already in this relaxed state. You're not in this fight or flight mode. So like, even if you feel triggered by these memories that come up, don't push them away. Don't be like, oh, I'm relaxed, I don't want to think about that. Be like, oh, what do I need to reformulate my thought process around? Because that's what retrogrades are about. They're about reviewing and reevaluating. How can I see the situation from a different perspective so that I can properly let it go? And it might mean even realizing that you weren't fully right in that situation, and then letting that release the other person from the feelings of resentment that you have around them. And also in that moment, make sure that you release any resentment around yourself, because you both are worthy of forgiveness. So yeah, so the fates are really just telling you, like, this is the week to cut ties to things, and cut ties to things in a loving and forgiving way, and just be like, that chapter's closed. Okay, so let's see. Any other questions? I love that I can click these. Oh, I do have more questions. Okay, so we have the lotus root. Is it a good idea to start the training that I'm thinking of signing up for? So let's do some cards there. So as I shuffle, I've said before, I'm tapping into kind of like a little Reiki, little feeling of the situation. The lotus root, you feel kind of nervous. It's okay. Okay, so past, present, and future. So these are very positive cards. So let that calm any anxiety that you have around any of this decision that you're making. So the past is coming in with the Nine of Cups, which tells me that you have set up your social surroundings to really support you in a transition like a training. So this is kind of telling me that there's like a lot of love and support around you at this time, and you've really developed that throughout your past, and that's really gonna help you to be able to make decisions that might feel a little out of the blue or out of the ordinary, or yeah, there's a feeling of like, you've got the support that you need. So if that's something that's calling out to you, or if that's something that's in the back of your mind of like, how are you going to be supported? You're plenty supported. You've done that in the past already. The present card is coming in with the Father of Pentacles. This tells me that whatever training you're currently thinking of could be really financially fruitful, because the Father of Pentacles is like the king of the money and home and finances. So he's coming in to be like, yeah, if you do this, like, you're set. You can definitely make sure that your money and your home is taken care of. So if it's a question of, is this training going to be financially fruitful? This is saying, yeah, it is. And it's also saying that you might even have a little bit of that energy already, kind of like your money's set. So like, you're okay with doing this training and maybe taking maybe less work or whatever, like whatever you need to commit to this training, like the money's good, your level. And it might even indicate that there is a masculine energy in your life, which I say masculine because it could be man or just masculine, feminine, female energy. There's a masculine energy in your life that could definitely help you with any financial worries as well. So if you're not feeling that feeling of security just yet, know that you do have resources available for you to help you out with it. The future card is the Son of Cups. So that tells me that it almost makes me wonder if this training is like a creative-based training. The Son of Cups is indicating that in your future, you're moving into sort of a beginner's mindset in a creative field. So I would say if this is a creative or, just maybe not an artistic creative, but it might be artistic creative. If this is a creative field, the Son of Cups is like, yeah, this is in your future. Like it's gonna be there. So I would say that's a big green light if it's a creative field, or if it's a field that has to do with really caring for other people, because the Cups cards are also really emotional based cards, and they're the loving cards. So I would say, you're set up to do it. I would say definitely if this is a creative training, these cards are like, yes, go for it. That's in your future no matter what. So you might as well give yourself that training. But it's also saying that like you're set up with the support both emotionally and financially, that you can choose to do it or you can choose to not. I think that things will unfold faster. Yeah, I'm getting the hit that things are going to unfold faster for you if you go through the training. But whatever it is that you're trying to train for, it's going to happen. It just may not happen quite as quickly if you don't do the training. So stay tapped into the heart, but I feel like that's a pretty solid yes. And your goddess card is a lowly lady who's played by Felicity from the series Felicity. And basically the message behind this card is make your own choices. The mythology behind the lowly lady is that basically the moral of the story that happens with her is that women want to make their own choices. They don't want their choices and their decisions made for them. So don't let anyone else make this choice for you. You got it. I get a feeling that that's probably a yes, though. I think that you're probably feeling a yes at this time. So go for it. You've got all the support that you need, and you've got the autonomy. Like as long as you can own this autonomy and be like, this is my choice, and I truly believe in this choice, go for it. Okay. So if you're just joining, we are doing questions for individuals. And if you want to ask a question, you want to click on the question button down next to the comments section. So Rachel, we already answered yours, but I'm going to go ahead and bring that up real quick just so I can get that off the docket. Okay. So we don't have any on the dock right now. If you have a question, I'm going to shuffle up some cards, get them ready for you. And if you don't have a question, you can either just say like general reading and I'll do a past, present, future with my tarot cards, or you can just say goddess card and I'll give you a goddess card to like help assist you in whatever it is that's in your mind. I love Felicity. Yes, that resonates. It's a flower essence. Oh yeah, I would say go for that. That feels like it's both in alignment with creative energy and healing energy. So I think you're good. So go for that. Enjoy it. Let me know how it goes. All right, let's see. No questions on deck, guys. So where are we at? Okay, I am getting close to the hour, so I might have time for one, maybe two more. So if you're on the fence about asking a question, now's the time to do it. And the beginning of this video was the Reiki recap for the week and the weekly tarot forecast. So I'm gonna see if I can repost at least the start of it on my Instagram TV. I know Instagram TV has a 15-minute limit, so I'm gonna do some editing, post that. And if you guys liked this, I might start doing it every week. I would love to have some more people coming in. I'm very grateful for your presence here. Like this was the perfect beginning group, so thank you for being here. But yeah, I would love to be able to do more live tarot readings. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Yeah, so thank you guys for being here. Little wrap up. I do offer email readings on my website, so if you ever want a little dose of energy from the cards and I'm not doing one of these free live readings, feel free to head over there. The email readings are the most cost effective for you because they're just going to be something that I type up in an email and send your way. You can go to michelleshewalker.com. They're on the main page. There's a link for them now, or they're on the shop page as well. And I'm also offering goddess card sessions. So these are not the email readings, but they are my one-on-one sessions that occur either voice-to-voice on the phone or in Skype. If you want an audio recording, we can do Skype audio. If you really want to see me, I guess we could do FaceTime. I can't promise I won't be in sweatpants at this time. But yeah, they are one-on-one sessions where we have an hour to answer everything. And they're goddess card sessions because I will be using my goddess cards, but they won't be the only cards that I'll probably use. There might be a few tarot cards that get pulled, but we'll dive in deep to especially what your goddess has to offer you. And there's going to be different goddesses for different areas of your life, depending on what questions you're asking. But we'll really like go into the mythology of that goddess and how you can kind of invoke that energy into your life, because goddesses like it when we let them know that we know that they're around. So yeah, we'll go into those practices as well. So that's also over on the website if you're interested in that, and it's 50% off the normal price right now. So michelleshawalker.com. You can order your goddess cards if you want your own copy. They're on pre-order now over at the same website that I just mentioned. And thank you for joining me, guys. Maybe I'll see you again next week. So have a lovely rest of your weekend, and I will end it there.